in Mexico. Joining us tonight, political commentator, syndicated columnist Ann Coulter. Her newest book is Adios, America, the left's plan to turn a country into a third world hellhole. It is number 6 on the New York Times bestseller list, and great to have you with us. Let me first get your reaction to what the administration declared to be domestic terrorism, as they put it, immediately, unlike any other attacks that we have seen.
Is this the one in Tennessee or the one in San Francisco they have called an act of domestic terrorism?
It is the one in Chattanooga.
Yeah, well, I was watching the news on MSNBC, so I thought it was, Tennessee man. Well, for one thing, I understand the FBI was following this family. We know they were following the Tsarnaev brothers, the Boston bombers. So I'm thinking a better idea, instead of taxpayers supporting the FBI to follow all these people we're bringing in and putting in American neighborhoods in the country, why don't we just not bring them in so we don't have to pay the FBI to follow them?
It is interesting.
I mean, these are all legal immigrants.
It is interesting, though. I believe people are beginning to think about the fact that the country is defined by who we bring into our country. And I have not heard a national debate on this, even though we've been in a dialogue about and a debate of sorts about illegal immigration primarily and border security for a decade. But people are now, because of Kate Steinle's murder principally, I believe, beginning to talk honestly about who are we going to be, and how should that be reflected in immigration policy.
Yes, and you would think this would have occurred to Republicans a little sooner. Looking at it from a purely partisan perspective, the post-1970 immigrants, the ones brought in by Teddy Kennedy's 1965 Immigration Act, not only are far poorer than native-born Americans and much more likely to access government services, but they're voting 8-2 for the Democrats. If they were voting 8-2 for the Republicans, I promise you, Chuck Schumer would be on the border with the Minutemen. The only reason Obama...
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, there's a delay, so we'll probably be interrupting one another a lot that way. There's a delay.
Your turn next, then.
Obama would not have been elected at all but for the post-1970 immigrants. So what is going on with these Republicans, Lou? I mean, for their own political survival, is their position the same as the Chamber of Commerce? Oh, well, screw the country. I only have a few more years in politics anyway, or I'll make my pile, and so much for America? It seems to be.
I think that is, certainly one of the possibilities. And I want to recommend to the audience that they buy your book, Adios, America, because, first of all, Ann is always a great read, and this is no exception to that record. But there is also an aspect of 1965, and you just reminded me, which is a foundation of all that has changed in this country. A lot of people scratch their heads and they say, what's happened to this country? Ann Coulter, in this new book, tells you a lot of what happened to this country, beginning with the immigration law of 1965, not 1986, not 1996, or the attempts in 2006 and subsequently for comprehensive immigration reform. 1965, led by Senator Edward Kennedy. Let me turn to Donald Trump. You seem to have taken, as they say, a bit of a shine to him. You like what he's doing.
Why, yes. Yes, I do. Well, he asked for and received an advance copy of my book, and I think that's where all that spicy stuff about Hispanic rape is coming, because, as you just mentioned, the 1965 Act changed the immigrants we are bringing in legally dramatically from the immigrants who had come in until that time, and we're mostly bringing in peasant cultures, very, very the poorest of the poor from cultures as different as ours as is imaginable, which is bringing all kinds of, surprising behaviors on the country. Honor killings, gang rape, incest rape, and I cover a lot in the book. So even if you like the idea of living in a place like California, besides the beautiful beaches out here, that is a one-party state. And America, too, is going to be a one-party state, even if you want total hegemonic control of politics by the Democrats. The country is changing in other ways where these cultures are changing us. We are not changing them.
Let's, we've got to run. The last question, if I may. Do you believe that Trump is a serious committed candidate, and do you think he can win?
Well, I am shocked that no Republican is picking up on this. I mean, we have been promised over and over again a wall, secure the border. I'm totally against amnesty, whether it's from a Bush or a Rubio, a Rick Perry, and then we have been double-crossed over and over again. And I have been a little surprised. I've been doing a lot of book events out here, how crowd after crowd, and drivers I have, makeup artists, 100% behind Trump. I've never seen an issue that divides the elites from the people so much. You would think Republicans would notice this, but I mean, I'd like to like him. Scott Walker gave his announcement speech this week. 40 minutes, not one word about immigration, with Trump #1 in the polls. And frankly, I hope he is serious. Usually what happens to these candidates who are not already governors is, they think, screw it. This is no fun running for president. I won't. I hope he keeps running.
Well, it looks like he's already made some, as they say, a profound impact. As you always do, Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us. The book is Adios, America. We recommend it to you. An armed